Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the noon edition that we have today. This is less than 24 hours, Tammy, and we're back on here because there's so much happening that we got to stay in touch with people with, and we got some major updates for you today, actions for today, and we thought that we would share those with you. I'm going to let Tammy start out by talking about the restaurant meetings that were scheduled for tomorrow and what we want to get all of you to spread the word about.
Yes, so great to be with you today, everyone. While everybody has been very busy with the election craziness and the election chaos that we find ourselves in the middle of, and Ron's going to talk about that and update you on that. I have also been very busy talking behind the scenes this week with a group of restaurants. Several of you I have reached out to personally. Some of you are business owners, restaurant owners who came to Jimmy's a week ago Friday, I guess I should say. And there's been a lot of follow-up on that because the health department has been very busy. The Liquor Commission control has been very busy, storming people's businesses, going in, breaking in the middle of the night, ripping licenses off of walls. And there's been a lot of chaos, serving cease and desist orders and things like that to those of you who have decided to stand up. You have been targeted, and we have been watching this. We've been talking with you. We're fully aware of what's going on. I've been getting a lot of emails. I know Ron has too, and our team. From those of you who are asking questions, I got a cease and desist order. They're threatening my license. What do I do? So there's a restaurant that put out a letter, and many of you have probably seen this in the Detroit Free Press that came out a few days ago. A restaurant that has decided, they actually are a group of restaurants, and they have decided, they put out a letter that we are going to stand up and fight. And one of the owners, the wife of the restaurant group, I should say, also put out a letter. What does this pause mean? What does that look like for restaurants? What does this actually do for us? So they have decided to have a meeting in their Detroit area restaurant at 1 o'clock tomorrow. And I've reached out to all of you that I have personal connections with, or who have emailed me, or who have texted me. I've had many of our state reps and senators even throwing me business names. Please contact this person. So I've been very busy this week pulling together this meeting and also talking with the Constitutional Rights Law Group behind the scenes out of Texas. And they are right now working all over the country for different groups who are being threatened and targeted. And so they have actually offered to represent any business that is being targeted, that is being threatened with cease and desist orders, with licenses being revoked, pro bono. So the way they work actually is on donation fees. So it's pretty cool. I'm very impressed. It is a total constitutional approach. And so at tomorrow's meeting, the meeting in Detroit they're going to provide a Zoom link. And so there are a handful of restaurants on the west side of the state, the mid Michigan, and the west side of the state where I'm at, even some from up in Traverse City and the UP who were planning to drive over to the restaurant in Detroit. But we've changed things up a little bit. Instead of everybody driving to Detroit, they're going to put up a Zoom link, and we are going to meet at Jimmy's Roadhouse again. Jim Corey, the owner, has graciously offered to open up his restaurant to all restaurant owners, all business owners, bar owners, coffee shops, delis, anybody that wants to stand strong and fight instead of just roll over and go bankrupt, right? If you want to fight, we need to do this collectively. We need to do this as a group. We've been hearing this from Sheriff David Clark. We've been hearing this from other constitutional sheriffs. I've been hearing this from the Constitutional Law Group, that the only way we are going to win this fight, we are in a war. Make no mistake about it. We are in the fight of our lives. The only way we're going to win this fight is to stand arm in arm, shoulder to shoulder in solidarity. So for those of you that can make it, please spread the word. Please share this. Please spread the word with your friends, your family, anybody who owns a restaurant who is standing strong and refusing to comply, like we talked about at the rally at Jimmy's. Please spread the word to get to Jimmy's Roadhouse at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. We will join the group on the east side of the state then via Zoom. And we will also have the Constitutional Rights Law Group Zoom in, and I'm going to introduce them to you. They're going to introduce themselves, and they're going to take it from there. I'm not an attorney. That's not my lane, but I do know how to connect the right people. So I'm going to introduce these guys to you, and you're going to love what they have to say. You're going to be encouraged. You're going to find hope. You're going to find support, and you're going to find the strength and unity to stand strong together. So I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody either via the Zoom link or at Jimmy's Roadhouse tomorrow in Newaygo.
And the great news with this is it fits perfectly into Stand Up Michigan. We are trying to both inform you with everything we can and bring us all together so that unified, because remember, the numbers are what make the difference. It's what gives us a voice in Lansing. It's what gives us a seat at the table when we demand certain things. It's what it can activate us to be able to make calls or show up in person, which leads me to two other things I need for you to do today. Actually, three, because we're going to talk about, again, all the information on the printable PDF. We talked about it last night. This will be a short video. We want you and need you to share this with everybody, especially the restaurant owners who are thinking of driving tomorrow. If you can join by Zoom or you want to join us at Jimmy's, that would be a terrific. Again, he's going to shut down his restaurant specifically for us to be able to hold this meeting there. So the first thing I want to talk to you about right away, and it came up just this morning, we have some kind of, again, inside information. Those of you who've been involved with Unlock or have gotten some emails from Amy Hawkins, we have been asked to specifically pray for the Supreme Court today. Our understanding is they are actually meeting today to discuss a couple of these existing court cases that were presented to them last Wednesday night. These are crucial cases. There are about 4 of them. So which 2, I don't know. But there are a couple of these that definitely have or warrant enough information that we are hoping and praying that the Supreme Court would take action on or would put a pause on or would be able to say, we need to, and you need to look at this evidence prior to certifying any electors. This would give the solid backbone, a rod, if you will, honestly, into the legislature to be able to say, until the courts say this is legal, we can't say it's legal. It takes it out of the political realm and puts it into the legal realm, which is what we've been waiting for. We believe that one of these 3 or 4 cases gives us the best opportunity to be able to withhold those electors until we prove the integrity of the elections held in Michigan, which we know were not legal. We know that a lot of these votes are fraudulent. Nobody disputes any of that. The question is it enough to change the election? Can we prove it before the time? Or will it still be up in the air to the point where they will not give the electors to anyone until the lawsuit has been looked into? And that is our third option. So please pray. Literally, I believe it is between 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock today that they were going to meet to begin to discuss these couple of cases. We know that at least a couple of the justices are specifically interested in making sure that this was done legally, or that there is enough warrant in these suits. And the Great Lakes Justice Center is involved in at least a couple of these. So pray for the Supreme Court. Secondly, organized today, I got a call last night from Patrick Kolbeck, who was very much involved in the hearings yesterday down in Lansing. They went very well. His word last night was they actually went perfectly, meaning they were listened to and they were shared with. There were a couple of outliers and people who didn't have great responses or answers or weren't particularly interested, but the majority of the people took very much note, and they were able to get the information and evidence that they wanted to be presented. They believe it was heard. And believe me, if Patrick Kolbeck says it went excellent, it went excellent. Michonne Maddock put out a message also, and her husband, Matt, you know of, he put up the impeachment papers. These people are very much involved in this fight. They said that last night was a culmination of faith and prayer, and that definitely it took a click towards being able to provide accurate information that we believe could be acted on. So again, we're moving the needle is the word that he used last night. So his action was, and he asked me, would we be able to get on and ask for you, those of you that especially can get to Lansing today, tonight, as you probably have heard, Rudy Giuliani, and at our locals, it's all over there, that he is going to be at a hearing at the House building tonight, and they're going to be speaking on the 5th floor. But if you can get there with your signs, with your flags, and give a great welcome to this patriot who's defending and a part of the Trump team, to be able to show unity for integrity of elections tonight at 5:30, 5 o'clock, 5:30. They expect the actual hearing to be able to go on probably until 8 or 9. I believe Epic Times, there are going to be people I think are trying to cover this possibly, but they're going to be allowing a certain number of people in as well. We need to show unity and strong passion of what's going on today. I also saw a link directly on Locals from Elizabeth, actually, talked about sponsored by the Conservative Coalition. The Conservative Coalition has been doing a lot for the Trump campaign over the last couple of elections, and they are also calling on basically an all call for us to get there in great numbers if you can. Again, this isn't a speaking event. It's a show of unity and a showing to the media and the press that we care and we demand integrity in our elections. So those are the two things that we got there. And Tammy, this is the first time we've been able to be on here to talk about the links on our website in order for us to be able to take these and print them off, email them around and pass them out. Why don't you talk a little bit about this and how important it is, especially as we meet with these restaurants and all the people that are visiting them?
Yes. So this is one way that we can organically, covertly grow our groups. You all know that Facebook has been censoring us, has taken us down, has shut us down. YouTube is doing the same thing. I think people are migrating over to those more private platforms, the MeWe's, the Parlors. We're on Locals for a reason, because we are working right now behind the scenes. Very soon we will be able to do lives directly off of our Locals platform, and it interfaces very similarly to Facebook. And so we're on Locals for a reason. This PDF that is available on our website, if you go to our website, standupmichigan.com, you will see the PDF, and the box pops up right. And Ron's pointing to the link.
Right there.
Girl, I don't have my glasses on and I can't read it off my phone. But you can go to the website. It will pop right up for you. There's a PDF that you can print, and we're asking you. Ron held up the piece of paper, and you can see all the little squares there. If you hold that up again, Ron, they can see all these little squares. They're like little cards. So if you print that off, they're designed so that you can cut them up, and you will always have 10 to 12, 15 cards with you. And so as you meet people in the store, at church, at the schools, wherever you go, whoever you're interfacing with and networking with at work, your family members, you can just hand them a card and say, "Are you following Stand Up Michigan? Because this is where the news is. You need to do these 3 things. It's going to point you to our website where you can provide your email. That way we can be sending you can be receiving our emails and daily updates. We try to send out pretty much once a day, sometimes several times a week, but that's a way that we can always directly contact you, because no matter what happens with our social media platforms, the emails don't go away. And that way we've collected your email, and we can always communicate timely, accurate, relevant information along with calls to action and newsletters, so you always stay informed. So number 1, give us your email, sign up on the website. Then go follow us on YouTube. There's a link there where our YouTube link is. And also make sure you sign up for Locals. And we're giving you the promo code right on that card. It tells people how to sign up for Locals, 12 months for free, right? Otherwise it's $3 a month, which I've been telling people in this life, you get what you pay for. Facebook is not free. They know everything about you. You've given it all away to them. They have over 5,000 data points on every single one of you, and they're tracking you. That's not freedom. So for $3 a month, you get complete censorship-free interaction with our group. It's private, and it's just completely our community. So this is all really good stuff. I know it's new, and change is difficult for people. Some people have a harder time with change than others. So we just need to keep getting the word out there. And this is a great way for you to hand out a card and say, this is how you can stay in the know. Follow Stand Up Michigan. You will always be ahead of the curve if you're following Stand Up Michigan, because we are on top of things. Are changing incredibly fast right now, but we are on top of it. We are working very hard to bring you accurate information that's 100% truthful. And I'm going to stop and rewind just for a minute. If you don't mind, Ron, I'm going to address a couple of things that came up the last couple of days that has made my brain hurt, as Ron has heard me say lately. But we at Stand Up Michigan are not reactionary. We are not your knee jerk, so I heard a rumor, so I'm going to, go ahead and throw this out there at you. We don't operate that way. We have built a credible, reputable, nationally recognizable brand in Stand Up Michigan. So we don't just take bits and pieces of information and react and throw it at you as if it's truth. I want you to understand that, because there's been a lot of talk the last few days about, the representatives are blocking Giuliani and they're not letting him come, and you need to get this out there as a call to action. In the meantime, Ron was having conversations. You've got to remember, guys, we are connected at the national level. It's not just the little local patriot groups that we're hearing things from. Ron is on a national frontliners call every single week with the Eagle, right? And Ron, why don't you tell them some of the names so that people understand who we're talking with, including the Giuliani camp?
Well, again, I mentioned yesterday, Freedom Works, which is a major part of all of these campaigns and a lot of the connections that were done. They headed up a lot of the texting campaigns nationwide, specifically in these targeted states like Michigan has been. And they're involved very heavily with the state leaders again in each of these areas, like Georgia for the runoff. They're helping organize, and Matt Schlapp again is literally working on the retaining and making sure we win these states in all the battles and flying around the country like Rudy is. So we're in touch with their legal team directly and indirectly. And so we do hear what really is going on. We also sometimes hear things that we don't necessarily or aren't able to share because we're told not to, or wait until we get verification. And we really are ones that we don't know in the end, will these things happen as they're being told they're going to happen? Meaning, are they truly going to, will Rudy be here before a hearing or not? We can't guarantee that, but we aren't going to put out or spread the news that we're hearing that he's not, when we know, in fact, that there actually was talk. It were logistical issues. If you notice, he's not here at 1 p.m. He's here at 6 o'clock at night, and the House Committee, Oversight Committee, is going to be meeting with them at 6 p.m. That tells you there were logistical issues. He needed to be other places at other times, and it wasn't going to work. And now they've made it work. We believe the pressure from all of us was a part of that. Absolutely. But what we're saying is, when you don't see us react, do not assume it's because we're not jumping on board. It's sometimes because we're not going to say they don't know what they're talking about. Don't listen to them. Instead, we're just going to wait. And if you don't hear anything, no, we just haven't confirmed it yet. Right?
Right. And yeah, and that's been happening. And I just wanted to address that, because as things are moving really fast and people get, little bits and pieces of information, especially some who are connected with some within the legislature and leaders and things like that, they'll get some information, and then I will get a call, or Ron will get a call. Hey, we need you to put this out on Stand Up Michigan. So then Ron and I will get very busy digging and making the calls ourselves, because we have to verify before we can spread the information. And I want to tell you exactly why. Breitbart the other day put out a news article that incited a lot of unnecessary anger because they did not have the facts. When they put out the article that said that the House was blocking Rudy Giuliani from coming, we knew that was not right. We were having the conversations. I actually called Breitbart and called them on this and said, you incited a lot of anger unnecessarily because you put out information that was not accurate. And a lot of that anger turned around on Stand Up Michigan as, oh, we're in bed with the legislature, so we won't pressure them to do what they need to do. That was not true at all. And you all need to understand that. We've proven ourselves over the last 8 months. We are a source that you can trust. We are transparent, we are genuine, and we are very well connected. And as soon as we get verification that something is accurate, you're going to get that information before anybody.
Let me interject something here, Tammy, too. And that is that this whole legislature thing, being connected with the legislature, many of them that are in leadership roles, is vital to our organization, because it literally gives the voice of the people the ability to get directly in their ear, not what they read. Look, if they read the media, everybody loves the governor, right? That's where they all lived not very many months ago. And they found out through the process that it wasn't true. Now the election's proven us to be correct, along with 1 million brand new voters or people. And what I'm saying behind that is, when I say I'm your voice, whether I agree even with your anger or your frustration because I know different things, I'm going to still pass that anger and frustration directly to them, and say, do you understand there are thousands of people out here right now that are literally believing this about you? Either get on here and straighten it out, give me something I can feed to them, or tell me that you've actually made this decision and why. And I might very well agree that you guys are nuts. You're not doing things. You're not representing us. When that needs to be done, I will take a stand against them. Look, you can love your family, but it doesn't mean that sometimes you're not angry with them or don't agree with them. And there are a lot of times we may not agree with the decisions they make collectively or individually. But just understand, we have to take this one step at a time, and those connections we've got are trusted. And when we can be trusted with that inside information and we don't spread it around to other people, we can be trusted even further in the future. And that's the establishment we've made with, again, the political capital, if you want to call it that has been created with Stand Up Michigan, both with the Unlock campaign and with us spreading positive information and truthful information to you, and not running up a tree or chasing a squirrel based on something that has come up just like that, and we're supposed to all pivot. We just don't go there. We're more of a large ship that needs to change course and make sure we do it organizationally and structurally so we're effective.
Right. Absolutely. So when we do put out the calls to action, it's accurate. It's important. We're not calling you every day to go do some rally, because we know that ultimately that is really not effective. So tonight, it is important that as many of us as possible can get to the Capitol, because we have one of President Trump's team coming in. We have the legislature open, listening, willing to hear. And it's going very well. They're responding very well. I saw Representative Bo Lefebvre interviewed this morning on Newsmax, and he is really calling for action on this. So your representatives, now some of them I know, they do not have an appetite to dig deeper. They want to move on. They're not interested in hearing anymore. But there are a lot of them, more and more, that are getting the information they need, and they are rolling up their sleeves, and they're wanting to hear more, and they're wanting to know just how deep this corruption actually runs. So it is important that if you can, get to the Capitol tonight, get to the House building. Ron, do we have the information that we can maybe put the address or anything like that of where we're sending?
On our locals, you will see there's like 3 or 4 links in the first 20 posts up there, pictures of Giuliani with the address. It is the House building. Just Google that and you'll see it. I'm sure you're going to see the people because they're going to be standing outside. And they are recommending, a lot of people mentioned 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Another one said 5:30 until 8 or 9. I think if you want to get inside, you probably want to be there more at 4 o'clock or so. But again, they're mentioning the Conservative Coalition to bring your signs, bring your flags, basically make it known so that if those House people are looking out the window, they know Michiganders are watching. They know that we're paying very close attention to both what is said and what is heard and what the reactions to it are. I see a lot of people on here with comments, I don't trust our legislature and understand. I am with you in a lot of ways, believe me. And it starts from the top. We have lacked a verbal messaging and leadership at our House level specifically. We know that that's changing, and we attempt to be directly involved in making sure that they have a better chain of messaging and information, both 2 ways, from the people and back to the people, so that we are not reactionary, but so that we can actually set the tone for this. The governor always steals the messaging. Of course, she's got the media. What we're saying is Stand Up Michigan is the media for the legislature and the conservative voice. Obviously, there's other conservative organizations that are sharing messaging, and they all have their own goals and platforms. We believe we're going to create a broadcasting type platform that's going to bring them on, and it's going to feed them information that we hear directly from you. But what we really need to happen right now, over the next, again, 20 to 30 days, is we have got to have hundreds of thousands of you joining, getting this information out. Now, again, all you need is standupmichigan.com. All 3 links to sign up to all 3 of those questions that Tammy mentioned, our website, our YouTube channel, and a link to locals are all there on the home page of the website. They will take you 5 minutes to do all 3. You can also have anyone else do it, and the printable PDF is directly below that. You can click on that, save it, and email and text that PDF to everybody you know to print their own. I know we have people already in the UP that sent me a message this morning and said they have printed them off and they are driving around and handing them out to every business owner and every person saying, join, at least you'll know what's really happening and what the people feel and say. Remember, this is all off the grid. This allows you to say, my business is open, but not put it out on Facebook where you're going to get negative comments and negative connotations. Instead, we can use the same platform to be able to say, when you visit these restaurants, go online and give them positive reviews. We can hammer you them with incredible positive information about their food and their service and their ability to stand up. And believe me, people are traveling all over the state to visit these places that have stood up and stayed open.
Yeah. And we need to do that intentionally, because there are a lot of people giving them negative reviews. They're doing that to try to hurt their business because they are choosing to stay open. So as a group, as a united front, we Michiganders can do this, but we can only do this if we do it together. So we need everybody's help. We need everybody spreading the word.
So for tonight, show up if you can, 4 to 5, 5:30, dress warm. It is outside. The actual House hearing, I think I heard from Patrick's on the 5th floor, but you'll be able to know all of that. There will be a bunch of these other coalitions and groups are bringing everybody, all the platforms and people are saying get there. So if you can get there, let's build those numbers and make it look good. In the meantime, we're working with the restaurants. If you can print these off and hand these out to restaurant people, have them join the email list, have them show up if they can at Jimmy's Roadhouse in Newaygo. All of that information also is on the locals tomorrow at 1 p.m. If they want to, they can connect and get hopefully the Zoom link directly from the, that'll be from Joe and Rosalie Vicari. I'm sure that that's going to be posted in different places. As soon as we have a Zoom link, we'll put it up for you to find. But we would like to be in one unified place so that we can also connect you directly again with these legal options to be able to defend that. But if we can get 1,000 restaurants and other businesses to all stand together like it looks like we're going to with the bowling centers, we are going to push the narrative forward to make her say, you better find a different way forward than it is to lock us down and lock up our businesses. We're just not going to stand for it moving forward. And you heard what she said yesterday. She's teasing us that this is going to be a couple of months of lockdowns, depending on how you obey. She used the word follow the law. I absolutely do not consent that anything she's doing is an executive order or a law. The health department does not make laws. That is the legislature's job to make law, and she's not working with them, and the Supreme Court said she had to. So today, print off, sign up, pass it out, forward the information. Just forward standupmichigan.com to everyone and tell them to follow the 3 things or 4 things, including the printing off of that. Show up there tomorrow and at Jimmy's if you can, join the Zoom link and have the restaurants around you join. If you want to get together at a local restaurant and join the Zoom link as a group of restaurants, that is another way for us to be able to say how many are joining this, how many are going to stand up. And if indeed they don't do a Zoom link and a Zoom call that we need to have at the time, we'll provide a Zoom link and we'll provide it and we'll do the Zoom. So you will get a Zoom link if you can't travel to Jimmy's so that you can at least join and be able to have that conversation again, a little bit off grid and off of these social media platforms.
Yeah. And let me just say, we can only have 100 people on a Zoom at a time. It will bump you off. So we need to get to the restaurants where they're holding the meeting. So as many of you that can get to Jimmy's tomorrow at 1 o'clock, do so, because we can't have 150 people jumping on a Zoom. It will bump everybody off, and it's just too much for that bandwidth.
So that's it for today. You've got lots to do. If you can show up in Lansing, show up in Lansing. If you can't, print off some PDFs and hand this out to 20 of your friends and coworkers and neighbors, wherever you happen to be. There is no way, and believe me, again, as one of the people founding this organization, I know that I run into 20 people a day that I don't give the email address to. I don't give the website address to. I know that I run into those. I bet I saw 50 people at Jimmy's that I went to on Sunday. And if I'd had these, I could have handed out 50 of them. If everybody did that, this number of growing to 100,000 emails will happen in 3 days. That's what needs to happen because the strength is in numbers. And we're going to do that together. If you follow these things, join us tomorrow. We'll be doing the Zoom. We'll do a follow-up live also after that Zoom to be able to give you an update of how it went and how many are standing up together, because it's not like other restaurants will be able to join us, because next week we are going to be doing some sort of press conference at a location that will be identified in the near future with a date and location for all of us to show up in huge numbers to give a message and send a message that we are not consenting to what's going on.
Yeah, and this news conference, you guys, is going to make national headlines. I guarantee it. This is going to be seen on Newsmax and Fox News and all around this country, because nobody is standing up like Michiganders. We've already made waves because of it. So you do not want to miss this. You want to participate, and there's your strength. So we'll keep an eye on our locals, keep an eye on our emails and our YouTube, because we're going to be following up with more lives, more calls to action to give you the information you need to participate in this press conference.
Thank you so much for joining, guys. Great. Have a great afternoon. Let us know. Post on Locals some pictures. Again, great thing is Locals not censored. You can take pictures from down there. Take a video link from down there and post it on Locals for all of us to see. Locals is just like our Facebook group, only we don't have to approve your posts. You can put up there what you want, share what you want. You can show that your restaurant's open, and guess what? It won't end up going there where other people are going to attack you, because this is the Stand Up Michigan community joining together in big numbers to support each other. So have a great afternoon, and we'll talk to you soon and hope to see you tomorrow at Jimmy's Roadhouse at 1 p.m.